I want to go to that questioning of David Koch right now. Mr. Koch, do you think unchecked concentration of wealth will undermine democracy?
I couldn't quite hear you. Sorry, I'm deaf in one ear.
We're not doing interviews this evening.
Let me ask the question again.
Thank you so much.
I know. Let me ask the question again.
We're here to listen to the speeches.
We would help them grow.
We're not here to
try to make their companies.
Well, let me ask Mr. Cox then. Mr. Cox, do you think unchecked concentration of wealth will undermine democracy?
When things went wrong, we would not.
What we need is a country led by Mitt Romney with a vision of an opportunity society of free people and free enterprise. That's what made this country great, and that's what he's going to do, and that's his vision.
Are you concerned about, especially young people, looking at what's happening in the country where a handful of multimillionaires and billionaires are so disproportionately determining the democratic process?
That's a statement that isn't true. This country is governed by the people. That's what it's always been based on.
We need to keep this moving.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Okay. One deep. I got you. Mr. Cox answered a question. Why can't Mr. Koch answer a question? I only have one question.
And that company not only survived, it
Why?
thrived. And today, Beta Company is recognized as one of the best.
Yes, but we're media.
Disrupting the convention.
I'm not. Do you think media is disrupting the convention? I thought you welcome press coverage. You know you use the press all the time. I'm asking one question, and you answer the press's questions. I have one question I asked Mr. Cox.
And that's great, and that individual apparently does not want to talk to you.
I don't know. He can't even see me.
This is a security issue. Because Mr. Romney's speaking in a couple hours.
That's why we're here.
So we'd appreciate it.
Mitt found time to serve his church.
But this is the press. We're allowed to ask questions, and we're doing it in a dignified and respectful way.
We do need to clear this aisle, so you're going to have to move.
The time's not appropriate.
Thank you.
Basically, this happens all the time at this convention around Mr. Koch, one of the most powerful forces at this convention. When you go up to ask him a question, a group of men stand up all around him and make it impossible or protect him from the press. These are supposed to be celebrations of democracy, these conventions. There's a reason why both conventions welcome 15,000 journalists. They want to get their message out. But we are not supposed to be simply stenographers to power. We are there to ask serious questions and to follow the money. This is Democracy Now!, and we're on the floor of the Republican National Convention. Well, that was my attempt to interview David Koch on the floor of the Republican National Convention. When Mitt Romney made his entrance, he walked down the aisle of the Republican Convention. As he approached the New York delegation, he shook the hand of State Republican Party Chair Ed Koch, and then he shook hands with David Koch. While Democracy Now! Was there on the floor and captured the handshake on video, the pool feed that went out that the network's broadcast cut away just before the handshake to show footage of two enthusiastic young women supporters and then an overhead shot of the convention center. Then the shot came back to Romney shaking hands further down the aisle as he ascended the stage. This is significant because of how powerful David Koch is for Mitt Romney, who didn't originally have his support, mind you, Craig. Is that right? It went to Newt Gingrich, who we also saw in Sheldon Adelson's suite last night and the night before. But Mitt Romney went to shake his hand. He put his hand on his shoulder last night. This is as he's coming to give this, his acceptance address, and pointed at him.
Right, and in part, I think this is the triumph of Karl Rove. In fact, you do have a real schism in the Republican Party between the establishment and the Tea Party, and Karl Rove was really embodied the establishment. Romney was much more of an establishment candidate. He was not a Tea Party favorite. You had Rove shooting in the back quietly behind the scenes. Every one of Romney's rivals during the primaries, and Romney never really caught fire. He rarely got more than 20, maybe 30% of the vote in the primaries, but he outlasted everyone as they were shot in the back. And finally, Rove was able to get harness that Tea Party dynamism, but also to get the big backers of the Tea Party, the Koch brothers and Sheldon Adelson, and that meant a vast sums of money that they're able to spend today.